Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this pre-recording for Global Maker Day 2022. We are excited to introduce you to Deaf Technology Foundation. They are based in Nigeria. I've looked at some of their work on Facebook specifically. They have a thriving community of educators and students that are learning from all the great works that they're doing today. They are going to be showing us today how to create your own dispenser for sanitation purposes. This obviously was a big need during coronavirus when it was first happening. How can they get access to the things that they needed? And sometimes a lot of the things that we needed to find were out of stock. So this was a great opportunity to take those tech skills that they are sharing with others and put it into practical use for what we need today. So I will let them introduce themselves and they'll be able to take it away.
Good afternoon. My name is Promise. We are from Deaf Technology Foundation. We want to explain the components needed to build an automated hand sanitizer dispenser. This is the DC pump. This sucks in the water and to dispense. These are cables, jumper cables we use to connect different components. Of course, this is the lead we use to connect the components together. This is the NG tube. This is commonly found in the hospital. It's used as a feeding tube, but we want to use it for hand sanitizer dispenser. This is the USB. It is going to supply power to the automated hand sanitizer dispenser. And this is the soldering iron, We use it together with the lead to keep the different components together. This is the hot gun glue. We also use it to temporarily keep the components together. This is MOSFET transistor. This is the sign for it. This is 1K resistor, and that's the sign for it. Yeah, the DC pump, we use 5 volt. So this is the infrared sensor. It used to dictate any movement so that when the hand is close to this hand sanitizer dispenser, it will trigger the pump to dispense it. So once we finish the setup, so you see, when I place my hand in front of it, it dispenses. I take off my hand, it stops. So I place my hand in top, it's dispensed, as you can see. Yeah, I remove my hand, it stops dispensing. So nobody has to touch the hand sanitizer dispenser. Perhaps the person, because of germs, perhaps the person has coronavirus, and once he touches the hand sanitizer and another person touches it, it can cause the other person can be infected as well. All these components are easy to find in Nigeria, and they are not expensive. Yeah, so like I've said before, we have the infrared sensor which dictates the distance of object placed in front of it. We have the LED. That's the LED. Yeah, we mentioned the soldering iron we use to connect components together. Yeah, this is the NG. This is NG tube. It's commonly used in the hospital as a feeding tube. Yeah, this is the USB. Yeah, yeah. So we use it to get power for the automated hand sanitizer dispenser. As I've said before, this is the MOSFET, and this is the sign. And we have the cables with distinct colors to connect the different components together. So we're currently soldering the resistor to the infrared sensor, also to the transistor, the MOSFET transistor. So we have already fixed the NG tube to the DC pump, and we're now connecting it to the MOSFET transistor. It is TIP32C. That's what we are using with a 1K resistor. So our jumper cables, we use the female and the male to minimize the amount of soldering we'll do. So we just use the female and the male end and just easily connect it to the component instead of having to solder them. So we are connecting the pump, the DC pump. It goes to the drain on the MOSFET transistor, or the output of the MOSFET transistor. So right now we're insulating all those exposed cables to avoid breach of the circuit. So we are connecting the earth, the ground on the infrared resistor. It goes to the negative of the DC pump. And then we connect the USB. So we use the tape to cover the other loose ends. an So we are building an automated hand sanitizer dispenser. Like we've made mention of the component, we use a 1K resistor and a TIP32C MOSFET transistor, and then we use the infrared sensor to dictate the distance of the hand to the hand sanitizer dispenser. So right now, we've finished the connection and we want to place it at the top of the jar so that it will dispense the hand sanitizer. So we are waiting for the gum glue to be hot so that we could connect it to glue it on the top of the jar. Again, during the last corona outbreak, it was necessary to get a hand sanitizer which is automated so as to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Yeah, that was what we did so many years ago during the corona time, and that's what we want to repeat to you now. This is the MOSFET transistor we used, and this is the sign we have. And we use 1K resistor connected to the infrared sensor, and this is the DC pump. Yeah, this is the DC pump we use to make it. This is NG tube. It's commonly found in the hospital as a feeding tube. And this is a USB cable to supply power to the circuit. Then we have the infrared sensor that detects the distance to the hand, and we use jumper cables to connect different components together. Of course, this is the lead for the soldering iron. So as you can see, we place our finger on top of in front of the infrared sensor. It dispenses liquid. When we take it off, it stops.